Which one of these gets more value? I would say conventionally, this Adam Warlock should get a lot done here. It's going to be actually Cal on the Adam Warlock, so triple strategist for Envy.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, if you think about it, in many ways, Warlock is basically healer Hella as far as how his main primary shot works. So Cal could be quite deadly on it, but we have the team up here, and this is where you just lay in damage to the tanks, look for the tank pickup, but Magneto Bubble really well timed in from Envy from space.
Yeah, also that Invisible Woman team up from Envy, they look really well prepared strategically. However, Harvey, Vinny open it up, and the team ups mean nothing when you're dead. No reses available here for Envy. The players alive are the ones with the self-res, though NK does pop that. Cal getting cleaned up, and the Groot, uncontested, maybe just a little bit too much to get through. I mean, we've seen VP in Europe just tear people apart with the Groot. It's a reason it gets banned in a lot of series. I think if you're not going to match the Groot, you may be in trouble on domination.
Yeah, I think especially too, the amount of power Groot gives you when you're on the defense, when you can set up really high damage wall plays, it gets really frustrating to deal with, especially if you're not going to run a Groot and have that same advantage on the defense yourself. But Envy right now, on the verge of getting some ults, looking for a way in, and oh, that is a huge Mantis sleep, but it's not enough. Terra's still able to finish it off, and time for some again action here as Terra does the clean sweep.
Yeah, I wonder if this Wolverine Protect was just like a bait, or if they, you know, maybe they're going to deploy it on some of the later rounds, but already 100 Thieves with the Groot combo. Classic comp, and it's working fantastically well for them. They're not focused on the team ups, they're just focused on the core synergy, and I think 100 Thieves look really impressive right now, and frankly, as good as Envy looked last series, this is a little bit of what I expected. 100 Thieves have been the toughest opponent in North America.
Envy down 60% right now, looking for their first capture. Key inflection point here now. NK on the Star-Lord, gonna be opening up with Galactic Legend in all likelihood. Meanwhile, you got Remix coming in, got the Invisible Woman armor over and in. A little bit of disruption there. Is that gonna be enough for NK to get a kill? 100 Thieves, they drop the Invisible Boundary in turn. Meteor M2. Both teams still at full strength as ultimates get traded out. Galactic Legend fading. Still, Mantis ult still on the table. Space holding on to the Meteor M. See how Envy burns the last little bit here. Both teams still looking for a first pickoff. Remix back into the fray once more again, beaten up, able to bounce back, get healed right back over and in. Soul Resurgence in here from Sleepy as Envy is just struggling, Jake, trying to find anything. The disengage for 100 Thieves, though, really on point.
They just can't get rid of this 100 Thieves backline. They're proving so durable. Space, though, gets the cleanup onto point. Delena counter pops the legendary, but the flip comes through. So now, playing with a bit of house money, our Team Envy. However, 100 Thieves making it difficult, making it very scary here in the matchup. Cal with that execution threshold cannot take too much damage here. Does get bursted down, and Terra starting to potentially turn this fight around, cleaning up 400 Thieves under pressure, getting that desperate heal from Rocket Raccoon. Maybe it'll be enough, down to just 1 HP time and time again, and Envy just barely get the flip here on domination.
All right, Envy with the flip back over. And now we'll see what 100 Thieves does on the recontest. A lot of room to work with here. Only one fight needed to take the first round, so Envy must be perfect from here on out.
Yeah, this Groot ultimate, there's no obvious counter to it. So Vinny really going to be looking for that opportunity to set up. Maybe could snipe it into the enemy backline or just disrupt the tank. Is going to pop it on the thing, but Thing's getting a lot of tanking support. Very hard to get through it, and Cal burst down TTK.
Yeah, Cal proving to be a threat on the Warlock. However, BRB bring Magneto back into the fray. Galactic Legend now going to be used.
He was stunned out of it. NK got the ultimate canceled there. So 100 Thieves about to double down with 2 strategist ultimates of their own. Cal has popped the res, so they're not eager to get kills now. Sleepy, though, onto Delena, denies some of that damage follow. Terra solo can't commit with the Winter Soldier ultimate. That's a painful spot to be.
Here we go, Space looking to end this fight. Meteor M, does it get anything? No. 100 Thieves still in, looking for the way to flip. Looking now at TTK, has the Meteor M. Envy hanging on right now. They've done a lot to bring it back here so far. Galactic Legend in from NK, but here's the Meteor M. Dealing with a lot of it and taking down Space in turn with the aid of Terra. 100 Thieves now up 1. Delena in here from the back. Galactic Legend laying in the damage. Envy loses 1, but there's NK from the back. Deals with Delena. Envy not dead yet, but with Vinny laying in the damage on the point and the BRB bringing back in Delena. We have 100 Thieves with a real advantage here as Delena now doing a bit of cleanup, but the reses keep coming in, Jake.
Vinny knows they've got this round locked down. Don't even commit the Groot ult, so experience shines through there for 100 Thieves. However,
Team Envy feel about the Groot. But also, the Strangling Prison coming up here early could really give an easy setup here to 100 Thieves. So all eyes on Vinny right now. Envy looking nice and clumped up. The Prison ready to go for now. Good neutral damage onto Remix in turn. Moves forward, drops the Prison's fall through, gonna be there. It is easy cleanup set up by Vinny.
Nice double wall combo there on the Prison from Vinny. Gets that extra damage amp, and yeah, the ultimate is enough to get over the line. Very patient, waits out the Magneto bubble before deploying the ultimate. And the ultimate advantage is going to translate into a first cap. However, it's not going to last deeper into the round. Now it's Envy's turn to strike back here with an advantage in the bank. Can they make this offense work, though? Attacking into this point can be very awkward, very difficult, especially with somebody like Delena playing these off angles.
The defender's advantage on the stage is absolutely ridiculous, and that's before you get into considering the map just changing on you on a whim. But we'll see. Remix. Prison good to go of his own. One of the strongest tools to set things up in combination with Cal. Delena, Blast Barrage over the top. You see the invisible boundary engaged early here from Envy. Terra, though, down. Space able to grab one right after. Early advantage here for Envy as they look to set this up. The Sia gonna be invested. TTK holding on the Meteor M. Do you save it? You're gonna have to because you're dead, Cal. The Kraken impact to put it in over the top. Envy will take control.
Cal didn't get the reset, but isn't looking to need it here. Starting to push forward on the Winter Soldier. Wants to stagger some of these spawners. Looking to take the fight to 100 Thieves. This is risky. This is very, very aggressive. However, something we come to expect from Team Envy. Now Terra, though, looking for a potential counter hook in these Winter Soldier duels off the rip. So critical. Terra, though, also lost the Kraken impact in that death early in the last fight.
Also, Cal's already at 47%. He is building ult at a ridiculous pace already. But you have to look here towards NK. Galactic Legend gonna be used here early by Delena on the other side. Meteor M used by Space in turn, negating a good amount of that. No kills though off the Meteor M Delena. Galactic Legend just about done. NK still holding his. Remix though, getting focused down. You see the pressure on the Remix. Remix is gonna die. Remix still somehow alive, but no. Focused down by Vinny. Meteor M used. Man advantage now for 100 Thieves. NK Galactic Legend in turn, looking for anything right now, not finding it. Now Paint, super close to invisible boundary, not gonna happen. The Kraken impact, the execute is there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful find. I love that awareness from Delena. Goes for that BRB before focusing down Remix, who I think was expecting to be able to get that res in. That would have been huge impact in the fight. But awareness of the matchup from Delena. Navigates it well. And once again, it's Vinny with the Strangling Prison. You do have defensive options, though, here for Team Envy as they look to make the retake with, once again, ultimate advantage.
If you're 100 Thieves, you're okay doing Prison for Boundary right now. In fact, that is your ideal setup that you're looking at here. Vinny is going to drop the Prison pretty early, and it's going to be on Paint to look at the situation and go, do I need the Boundary here? The answer ideally would be no, but I think the answer is going to be yes. Envy pushing on in. Vinny waiting for the Prison. Both teams' Prison actually on deck. Remix looking for the opportunity. The Sia is going to be dropped. The damage boost is in. The Prison in from Remix. The fall through going to be there. And the Invisible Boundary out in time. Terra able to stay alive. Kills Remix in turn. And the BRB, though, brings Remix back up to fight. Full strength, but it's Cal who gets bursted down. The Kraken impact from Terra, even bigger, Jake.
100 Thieves looking to close out this map. They have a legendary as well. Not even really necessary in the end.
That before they had no option to they weren't able to focus fire anyone else through that ult, and then it was just a counter ult scenario for 100 Thieves where they're just wall them off, drop the Strangling Prison, drop a Kraken impact, finish them, right? Because they've already removed that strategy ult earlier from Envy from the side of Sleepy. So I do, or from Paint actually. So I will say that the coordination difference here is definitely looking a little bit more apparent when you look at the ult cycling in particular for these teams.
Yeah, I feel like also the front line, you know, I think Vinny had a pretty clear advantage when it came to the group. Map 1, of course, not being matched on the group, and then map 2 just coming up a little bit stronger in the mirror. Maybe it was the strategist as well from Envy a little bit too late to pop that invisible woman barrier that allowed Remix to get bursted down first. It's a critical kill, right? If you lose your Groot in the front line, you're just in major trouble. And Vinny, so experienced in the matchup, really knows how to get the most. And not just Vinny, but the whole team understands how to support the group in this matchup. It's a place where I have to imagine the experience pays dividends for 100 Thieves.
I think what I'm really curious to see going forward is we saw a little bit about Envy's preferences in the last match, right? Where Envy decided to come in and go, okay, we lost, we're gonna go to Midtown, and we're gonna give everyone watching a whole ton of hella tech to copy as Cal rewrites the book on where you can actually stand, right?
They want to play with their vanguards, and how do they want to take this space on this first point?
I heard a lot of smart things from Avast, and I just want to see Hella shoot each other in the head this map. That's all I care about here. As well, Winter Soldier, gonna be high impact, so I think this is a lot on the duelist of the map. And there's Cal lighting it up onto Delena.
I just wrote chat, you know, there's a lot of 100 Thieves fans coming in being like, yeah, Cal's good, but he's no Delina. Cal heard you. Cal heard you talking crap. Came in, immediately takes the Hella mirror. Jake, I think we're in for a show because both these Hellas are fantastic.
Cal's a big dog on the server here. You got to put some respect on the name. He's standing here confidently out in the open. Some might say even with a bit of cockiness here, very aware though of the enemy threat, the threat rather that Delana poses. And with the Invisible Woman support so critical in that matchup.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, it gives you the time to get another 3 or 4 daggers out, which can be the difference between just outright eliminating someone safely. Make it so you don't have to worry about dodging within that period of time. 100 Thieves, though, keeping the convoy moving forward here early. Sia, gonna be dropped here by Sleepy. Delina, meanwhile, gets taken down by Cal again. Jake, there's a lot of factors here, but if you're keeping score, that's 2-0 Cal.
No, Cal's my goat. I am keeping score. Big dog on the server. Drops him again off the BRB. Hey, resin one more time. But he wants that smoke, man. Cal is fearless here in the matchup. Drops SJP, and they're just wiping 100 Thieves off the server. Can you think of another time 100 Thieves has just been routed like this on the Hella matchup? Starting to get a little bit scary. I mean, we got a lot of map to play here, CP, but man, is 100 Thieves gonna have to ban Hella this series?
I mean, maybe. That's what respect you would have for 100 Thieves and Delina in particular versus Cal. But also, I mean, I feel like the blueprint has been set here that no one's going to let Envy play Hella if this keeps up.
Oh, what a pull from NK. Grabs the support. Without SJP, you can't keep pushing. NK now doubles up onto Delana. And once again, walking up from 100 Thieves with confidence, they just get smoked by these duelists. This game is starting to get scary. Half the time off the clock, and Envy haven't even deployed an ultimate yet.
Well, also, how many times has 100 Thieves had to deal with a situation where Delina just wasn't absolutely crushing the other Hella? I don't think it's really happened almost ever. So this is a change in game plan. It's just like, wait, what's going on in this moment? I mean, Delina of all people could definitely bring it on back, but what a statement by Envy here early on as Terra finds Cal. That's one way to end the Hella threat.
Yeah, will Envy try to double down with that elimination though onto NK? Cal was rezzed by the BRB, so it's a 5-on-6 here. 100 Thieves with the slight advantage. Big ultimates though on the cards for Team Envy if they want to continue fighting this one out. Seems like they will for now, but the stuns coming through, they're able to burst down space. It's up to Cal maybe to find a clutch pick. He gets one, needs I think one more to be able to make this defense happen, but Delana very aware with the Invisible Woman ult of his own, stabilizes on the point.
Visible boundary drop. The Sia about to be burned on down. Goddess of Death on deck here for Delina. Thing coming on in. Delina right now just content to sit here, do a little bit of tank damage. Kraken impact though going to be used here by NK. NK gonna get the resets right now. It's looking like no. Meteor M comes in, no one dead. Goddess of Death in from Delina, laying down the crow shots. Is that gonna be enough? Meanwhile, Delina in over the top. Envy still at full. Cal looking for a little bit of damage. It's NK who finishes off Vinny as Envy now momentum. They push forward, Jake.
In space, he's uninterested in the Vanguard duel, looking straight into the back line. Cal finds a couple more eliminations and Envy bend, but they do not break there. It's a beautiful hold despite a couple pickoffs coming in from 100 Thieves. Envy with the wherewithal to find their way through. Now ultimate's very low. SJP does have that Sia, but even last time, Envy backed out incredibly well against this. It is an advantage, though, pushing forward in the poke mirror. It's going to be challenging for the Envy tanks to stay healthy.
Envy last time around weren't able to withstand the Namor combos. Not a factor here. Invisible boundary in.
NK.
It's a huge pick. It's an early pick. And Cal onto the backline is able to get SJP. The duelists of Envy continue to feast. Delina, though, takes down Cal. A little bit of life here for 100 Thieves. 4 left. Invisible boundary though, soon to fade. Delina able to take down Sleepy. Delina now opening up some room here. NK though, over and in. Kraken impact takes down Delina. Looking for more. Again is out. And is this gonna be enough? The payload is just getting completely contested on all sides. But 100 Thieves, the tank line is back on in, Jake, and it might keep them alive.
Oh, it's a beautiful hold there from 100 Thieves. That BRB getting in just in time. And that pickup from Delana onto Sleepy made all the difference. Without that key sustain from Rocket Raccoon, Envy, they weren't able to win the long fight. They do run the time bank all the way down to 0, but 100 Thieves find a reprieve here on Midtown.
Envy unable to do a first point hold back to back. If you think back, you know, just one series ago, but still they drain a lot of time off the clock. It's been a good defense here so far. Space, Meteor M, ready to go. Remix, ready to check his watch. Ask, what time is it? Both Vanguards win forward. Call-bring time is used. Space
No value off that, it seems, from Remix. Oh, but they do find Terra. The
It was enough. It was enough disruption, but They go a little bit deep. Terra is brought back up by the BRB. Terra now laying in the damage on the Winter Soldier. Getting the good picks, drops a Kraken impact, and now it's just about a bit of cleanup.
Yeah, more than a bit. Perfect tool for the job is that Winter Soldier ultimate. And Envy, it's a fight very close to 100 Thieves spawn, but 100 Thieves getting it done with only the one ultimate has got to feel amazing. And they really don't have so much room for mistakes with how hard that first point was. That being said, you get a quick cap here on second, and you're very much back in the fight.
This fight right here, even with a minute 30, could really decide it, because both teams are going to invest a lot in ultimate power, and whoever comes out on top is going to carry that momentum forward. But here we go. Underway. TTK here in the back. Meteor M, good to go. Remix is getting bursted, and Remix, it lives, but at the cost of space, who goes down. The healing swapped off. Remix turns a corner. Nothing but death there. And 100 Thieves in the neutral right now, Jake. Looking great.
Yeah, respawn in, coming in off the BRB, but it's not enough just yet. Envy, I think they need to find a pick here to hold on to this. Vinny continuing to pour on the aggression, but Cal pops that Goddess of Death, trying to pump damage, but just gets instantly focus fired through, and the invisible boundary is delaying the inevitable, but spawns coming in here for Envy as they try to fight back, try to keep this alive.
Meteor M out from space. Delina laying down shots here from that Goddess of Death right now, just covering fire, gets decent value out of it. No pickoffs though, just yet. Terra ready to go. Kraken impact has been used, but the reset comes on in, waiting. Is Terra gonna live? Terra under a heavy assault. Delina, meanwhile, was able to take down Cal in the duels first duelist as Terra continues to jump around. Point two, gonna go 100 Thieves' way.
They get it done. That's a solid push through point two, but Envy, they've ran the clock down very well here for Midtown. I think 100 Thieves are gonna be, based on how the start of the map went, gonna be feeling pretty happy they're on third point at all. Now, ultimate banks fully drained. Back, I think the pressure on these duelists. Who can get that opening kill? Cal has been great in this part of the map.
Cal has been redefining the meta in this part of the map, just figuring out walls. This is like, that could be condemned. I'm gonna use this as a place to stand. Cal, the innovative tech. But here we go, frontline, thing versus thing. Sleepy, likely about to drop the Sia. Vinny, about to say, what time is it? Sia is dropped, 100 Thieves. Gonna give it a little bit of respect, but as I say, that clobbering time is dropped and the fall through immediately there. Delina falling in, 2 down for Envy, and 100 Thieves just gets the casually roll forward.
Cal under heavy pressure here, being assaulted by Vinny, getting a ton of support, is gonna just drop. Try to take the reset, but 100 Thieves really found their footing now on Midtown. Envy have struggled since, I mean, they had a great start of the map, look so strong, but now 100 Thieves seem to have stabilized. They found their opportunity to get aggressive in the matchup, and Envy haven't been able to find that solid defensive setup they've been looking for.
30 seconds left. 100 Thieves has been under the gun in terms of time for quite a while right now because of point A. And now Remix moving on in. Drops a clobbering time. They're looking for the focus fire onto Magneto. TTK, though, able to shrug it off. Sia, drop from SJP. Still adding bonus damage to the 100 Thieves squad. Envy, though, deals with the worst of it. Space. Meteor M, good to go. NK locked and loaded. Cal is down. Delina getting a little bit of revenge off the flank. Envy now has to win 5v6. Delina here on the flank. The Goddess of Death. Great opportunity. Another 2 picks. And Delina showing signs of life. Could be enough for 100 Thieves to finish this out.
I think it will be, despite NK shutting it down. It's Terra cleaning up. Isn't overtime.
Tempo and flow of the fight so far, because I doubt it's something like Space is not hitting shots. It's just you can't shoot.
I mean, he has huge, his accuracy is insane. That's the thing. You're exactly right. He has 63% accuracy, so he's not missing. He's just, yeah, like you said, forced into a more defensive posture. Maybe the team electing to emphasize enabling those DPS. Cal looking to go for a tricky off angle here on the offense. I like this play. Wants to find those opening picks that were so powerful on the defense.
Also, I think to extent looking for Delina, this is a real recognized real moment. Just going, I know who the threat is. I think they both know who the threat is here, and you know, the Hella stalking
Envy
Hella.
happy with this. Like, Envy have no problem. I mean, if you don't stop Cart, like, Cal doesn't really have to do anything. Now, 100 Thieves, though, this is the hold that they were planning for, where they're really going to make their stand is at this choke point.
Full neutral, no ultimates in play. Both teams looking for an edge, and the damage on the Terra severe. Terra nearly getting picked off. Now returning fire here with the team up. Unlimited ammo, quite nice, but TTK can't get away. Remix able to get the final blow there.
Res
the
back
BRB
in,
though the BRB limits the impact. So you're still at a full 6, but you are giving up a lot of positioning right now as Envy keeps pushing forward. They drop the Sia right now. Terra real close to getting Kraken impact, wants to do it, but time is running out. They lose Delina, but here we go. Kraken impact just in the nick of time. Evens things out 5 on 5. Ready for one more, moving on up. Has to prop it here soon. Who's gonna lose it? Instead, gets pulled. Jake loses the second impact.
That's so important. Cal finds one space with another, and Envy cracking this defense wide open. The Kraken impact from NK seems to be just enough here to get this first capture online. And I mean, that's a minute 30 on the first cap. This is a beautiful offense so far from Envy.
What a well-timed bionic hook coming in from NK there. Just what Tara's about to say one more time. NK says, how about you go back to spawn? Space now. Meteor M, good to go. Same with 100 Thieves. Ult economy gonna be crucial here, Jake, into second.
We haven't been giving enough love to NK. This guy's been great to watch, whether it's on the Winter Soldier, the Namor, across the matches today. Tara, though, finds the first opener here. 100 Thieves have a bit of an advantage, trying to push it here, trying to shut down that next duelist. Envy tactically retreating, but under a ton of pressure. 100 Thieves are just withering in their offense.
I think the scary part in this and Hell v Hell matchup is that when one of the Hellas is down, it means that either Delina or Cal doesn't really have anyone left to check them. And that is a horrifying spot to be in. But the hook is huge, Jake. But the fall through might not be there right away. It forces out the Meteor M. That's a good trade of resources off the hook. You love to see it as Envy's able to get away without losing anyone. Big.
Yeah, Remix gets out, gets healed up, so opportunity here for Sleepy to open with the Sia, but once again, Tara shuts down Cal, struggling to find the way through these difficult choke points. Now Tara sweeps over to the flank. Envy gonna double down, gonna try to fight this anyway, and they do even up 5-5.
Tara dove pretty deep for the Cal kill. You get the Cal kill, but you don't get out with your life. Even back up 5 versus 5 space now. Up in the front here with Remix, tank versus tank. Vanguard's getting down and dirty here in the front, and now Cal, Gods to death, ready to go. Remix with the clobbering time. The Sia dropped here by 100 Thieves. Envy, though, shrugging off the most of the poke damage. And we look at NK, cracking impact, good to go. Looking for a bionic arm here, perhaps. And Zelina is down. Paint with the assist there with Cal, and they get the advantage, and they just move forward, Jake, economically at that.
Vinny just has to die on card here. No hope to escape, no hope to retreat and fight another day. They're just hoping they can get the spawns in time. Envy able to win that fight off picks. That's critical because now they're able to take position around this final capture point. It's 100 Thieves on the retake. They do have this invisible woman barrier to help delay things. However, Envy have a lot of aggressive pressure. It's going to be difficult to walk up.
100 Thieves, though, needs a contest, but they lose NK immediately. Tara, first pick off. The BRB, though, brings them right back into play. Remix. Focused on the payload, saying, hey, if you guys got for a second, we're going to move it on in. Delina gets picked, also rezzed right up. Both teams, well, Space gets picked. Now, Remix into the back line. Pressure's going to be on him. Delina, with the Goss of Death, pushing Envy back. Envy, Jake, now must reset.
Yeah, they got to fall back there. Too many picks came in. 100 Thieves, they had to dump everything to get the job done, but that opening pick was pretty massive onto NK. Baited out the BRB, and then when the Vanguard fell, there was no res to follow up, not allowing Envy to double down and re-engage. That being said, ultimate advantage now strongly in favor of Envy. 100 Thieves want to force out this support ultimate very early, but I don't think they're going to be able to do that. Envy taking position, moving into the inside.
Right now, you're hoping Tara can make something happen. You look to Tara and Delina, get a pick in the neutral before the ults really become a factor here. The invisible boundary is going to make things really difficult, but if you get one before it drops, the advantage could be yours. Delina right now, working on the outside flank. Remix, moving over into the point, and they're giving a lot of attention to the DPS that are trying to flank to the upper left. Now, though, into the payload. They need to hurry, though, before the ult stacking gets too big. Now, they're looking for it. Pressure onto Vinny. Vinny, though, able to just get to the side.
Envy haven't found any crack in the defense yet. 100 Thieves holding strong despite the ultimate disadvantage, and every second they buy is one where they're continuing to charge ultimates. Remix goes into the backline, wants to deal with that. The invisible boundary, though, is enough. 2 openers come in for NK, has the crack and impact if he wants to look for more. Very likely to continue this pressure. 100 Thieves, desperation, running to the cart. They've got that execution threshold on the thing. He's so incredibly little. The bubble, though, from space saves NK. Huge! The critical difference maker.
It also stops Tara from doing more crack and impacts. Envy hanging on to this fight. Both teams, though, still very much in it. NK, super low, dead from TTK. Now Tara gets the team up, drops more shots. The BRB, though, brings Tara, NK right back in. Tara now dead. 100 Thieves down 1. Envy with the advantage on the point. Clobbering time going to be used as Envy right now stays on the payload. They need at least one more pick. 100 Thieves is doing just God's work on stalling right now, Jake, but finally Harvey goes down, and could this be it?
Yeah, the tempo seems to be turning against them here. Envy still full 6 players alive, now focusing down. These defenders stalling the objective, and similar time banks. Both teams had about a minute 50 here coming into third point. Let's see if Envy can replicate that aggressive success that 100 Thieves had on their defense.
All right, a minute 40 left to go. I mean, 100 Thieves, given that they completed the map, I think they're still okay with this, but very even across the board. These next two fights will decide it all. And let's see how Cal approaches this attack. A lot of areas to set up flanks here, but also dangerous with the opposition on the other side.
You got to take risks here in the damage duel. You know, it's all about taking those flanks, finding the openers. For now, Car continues to roll, so 100 Thieves electing to be biding their time here, defend the next corner. See a pop from both squads, so it's a 1-for-1 ult trade for now. Both duelists, I think, looking to find a cheeky pickoff. Remix, oh, whoa, can't step around that corner. Way too much focus fire. NK, though, uses the distraction, finds one. The res comes in onto Remix and Delena, so no res is left available.
Still full 6v6. Meteor M, though. Death from above. TTK looking, and no. Instead, it's Cal going down. Cal, I think, getting caught by Delena and Harvey. Combo not coming back up from the BRB. Meteor M, though, out from space. It's huge! Space dunks on down onto the support line. There's no heals left for 100 Thieves here, Jake. A massive ult coming in from space.
Delena on the back line needs to be the hero, needs to find a critical pickoff there. Cal, I think, made it into the bird and now calls out that team. Everyone else is going to be aware of his position. Does he pop the Goddess of Death? No, he's going to die, and I'm not sure Delena's going to be able to get back to this fight. It's going to be desperation for 100 Thieves. They've got to touch. They have that invisible boundary, though, so maybe they can make this happen. NK looking to stifle that before it can even begin. The execution barrier down on the cart, but defensive ults come out from 100 Thieves.
Yeah, and it's a great boundary. It's an immediate cleanup. There's no real resources for Envy to deal with it, but they also can't back out, Jake. 3 seconds left. 100 Thieves, their defense holding strong. Envy so close, yet so far on the attack. And yet
had the Doctor Strange ban, we had the Luna Snow ban, we also had the Loki ban. There was the first time, I think, in a while at a tier 1 at the top level of Marvel Rivals, I've seen both teams playing Rocket Raccoon for the entirety of the map. So they had Rocket Raccoon in for the entirety of the map, giving that team up to the Winter Soldier, just giving the infinite ammo, giving the increased fire rate. So it was very, very interesting to see that particular point here where these teams were playing an extremely poke-heavy style, trying to build the amplifier really quickly, and then essentially using the BRB as a replacement for Hela's team up with Loki, getting that res back, right? So I do think when I look at Envy, I look at 100 Thieves, what was really the biggest difference, once again, was A, the ult cycling. Continuously, 100 Thieves does a lot better job of ult cycling than Envy still, which makes sense considering the maturity of the roster. And B, I do think Envy sometimes struggles a bit on the focus fire, especially when you're dealing with a poke heavy comp where there's not a lot of heals here in the field, because yes, Rocket Raccoon has a lot of pure healing, but doesn't have a lot of, I guess, utility. That is where 100 Thieves once again is coming out here on top, is just cycling the ults and getting the focus fire. And Envy probably just needs to clean it up a bit.
Yeah, some of these fights, I think, take a very long time to clean up for Envy, right? Like when they're capping the point, even though they do end up winning out in the end. I mean, 100 Thieves looked really practiced in these stalling scenarios, in the delay scenarios, and they're very much aware of their win conditions, right? They're able to set up this final fight on the map where they have the decisive portal advantage. They have the invisible boundary for that critical fight. I mean, the only one that matters is the one where you're able to secure the hold. So got to give a lot of respect to 100 Thieves. They are clearly so far in the series the stronger team overall, but I think just to this Envy squad, I mean, there's a lot of hope for the future being shown in the way they're performing.
Now, what I'm curious on is that, does Envy follow the same playbook? Because you remember back to their match versus Sentinels, they went to Midtown and they had a close loss. Very similar to what we just saw now. Now going forward, they went into Hall of Djalia in their first series. I think we may go back there again, but given the difference between Sentinels and 100 Thieves Vest, I feel like it's just going to be a very different match, especially, just simply as you were pointing out, the bans that are being put down here are leading to very different games.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think what's also another highlight here when we talk about going
pretty solid on the Star-Lord on map 1. 400 Thieves, I'm not a huge believer in the Wolverine here, but and Envy, for their side, they're just gonna say, you know what, we're not gonna play the group. We can win with the thing. And I actually like this. I think playing into the mirror against 100 Thieves is not a great look. Rocket Raccoon booster over the flank. Cal, does Cal expect this? Maybe not, and that's a huge pickup from Delena. The experience on the Hela matchup showing.
Welcome to Marvel Rivals, says Delena to Cal. Yeah, he might have potential, but I knew you were there. Very quick pick off, just calm with his pants down, and now gonna be
Wolverine
even less threat on Terra. Yeah, Terra just gets to drop the claws and do whatever he wants, really.
Yeah, and this is where the experience is a real challenge, because the Wolverine matchup, you really need to know the limits. You need to know when to focus fire Wolverine, when to ignore him. It's such a challenge. We've seen so many teams fall to those claws of Wolverine, and Envy, See if they have the answers here. They've been really put under pressure by the strategic diversity of 100 Thieves.
Cannot ask for a better start here for the first point. One of the hardest points to attack, and 100 Thieves make it look effortless with Delina's early pick onto the Cal. Now we'll see where it goes. Terra moving forward, getting real close to getting last stand up and online. And I feel like Envy is
his
still
second
recovering.
life forced though on Terra, so he's a little bit vulnerable here. Has to be just a little bit more cautious. He's gonna go in, but doesn't get a grab there. So nice start to the fight, but Vinny's walls are just so annoying. Envy are unable really to fight into the objective with the threat of that wall.
Also, Delina had more than enough opening to go in, get on the Cal. 2 picks now for 100 Thieves. And it doesn't get any better, because Terra is about to slash a few more times, last stand, and probably abduct 2 people. It's just really brutal, Jake, where Envy, they haven't recovered from the early picks.
Yeah, 100 Thieves look so well practiced on the strategy. Now the Wolverine comes out in the series. Envy have been caught flat-footed. Now the pressure overwhelming onto Remix, gets shut down. The combo into that Groot, and the backline is just destroyed. The Cloak and Dagger ultimate from Sleepy isn't even close to enough. Now the Focus Fire just cleaving through that heal, and with 6 minutes onto the clock, 100 Thieves charging forward into third point. This is about one of the fastest speedruns I have ever seen.
I mean, right now, you stop and think about it. I just heard that sound there, and I got flashbacks from pub games of, like, vote to surrender almost. It's like,
yeah, right?
That is how brutal that this opening has been for Envy. 100 Thieves, anything that could go right has gone right. TTK, though, getting very, very low, nearly picked off, was able to back out.
And Wolverine is great on third as well. I mean, first and second, I think the Wolverine is a little more suspect on this map, but third point, super powerful. Legendary Pop going to be defended right now by the Meteor M. See if NK can get much done. Looks like the supports are very safe, very conscious of this possibility. Wolverine isn't even forced into the second life. Now grabs Groot, pulls him into the back line, and it's an easy pickup for 100 Thieves with the Vinny slamming the door on that choke point.
Remix is not going to do well in this mirror when he has to worry about a Wolverine and the other group. It is not going to end well, Jake. I'm just letting you that know right now. Cal, Goddess of Death, blocked by the pillar. A lot of pillar line of sight issues there as Delina takes down Cal's, the Goddess of Death fades, and this is a rout, an absolute slaughter in favor of 100 Thieves.
I was worried we might see this in the series. I mean, the Wolverine is such a threat, and for a team that is maybe relying a bit on their FPS prowess, maybe a little bit less experience. It's a disgusting cleanup there from Vinny on the Groot. But the Wolverine, I mean, you feel like, you know what? You could win that on defense. You could make the full hold. You just got absolutely blitzed out of the game. 4:30 on the clock, man. GG.
Yeah, also, I'm going to do a rare thing. We're going to bring in our analyst mid-game here just because of Ast. You've seen a lot of car crashes in competitive hero shooters. I mean, where's this one rank right now after that round?
More importantly, SJP was 1 assist off the pie game. 3 and 15. Just one assist off the pie game. So very close, but unfortunately not in the day. But I will say that right now it's looking very, very hard for Envy. I like the swap to this Venom, but the Wolverine is giving them a lot of trouble.
Second life force though, Wolverine weak on this first point. It's a lot of open space.
Yeah. Terra nearly going down, now right back into it. Envy looking a little bit embarrassed here so far. They get their first elimination of the match. NK on the board. Terra though, immediately could be rezzed. Yeah, quickly rezzed. Cal though, dropping the soul bond here on Adam Warlock. Still a winnable fight here for Envy. Blaster Barrage coming on out from NK. Cal finding Terra, so the Wolverine threat down, but TTK getting Mantis on the side. TTK devastating the strategist line, and that is a quick trip back to spawn for the rest of Envy.
Yeah, they are going to go for this Adam Warlock team up with the Star-Lord. I like this as a different look, as it's one that's potentially more difficult for Wolverine to get his claws on. But that's also enabling 100 Thieves to have a very powerful front line. Hella essentially uncontested. Delana, though, hold on, gets burst down, popped, and it looks like not rezzed. So opportunity here for Envy to cap first.
That was the old 1-2 between Remix and Cal. They set that up beautifully. Space on the Terra, both duelists down. NK, Blaster Barrage through the invisible boundary. Galactic Legend faded, but Envy with a huge advantage to the rest of this fight right now. 100 Thieves looking very drained. Delana might come back into the fight late with the Goddess of Death, but by that time, people are likely going to be gone. 100 Thieves, though, somehow alive. This gets back to the Focus Fire. Finish them off. You must be thinking here, the Meteor M comes in. Perhaps a bit of an overcommit, but sometimes, Jake, you want to get through the first point
with 2
as quick as possible. Yeah, what?
No way,
what?
right?
What?
Surely not.
Okay.
Surely not. I mean, Envy need a cap, man. Like they're chasing kills really hard. They're gonna get the cap secured. That was a little bit too close for comfort. Delana finding 2 in the midst of the fight. I mean, Envy get that one, but it was off the back of a big peg onto the Hella with such a long respawn in that position. So Envy, I mean, I like what they're bringing to the table here. Maybe it'll be enough.
They're alive. They've gotten eliminations. They're on the board. The scoreboard has broken from its undefined infinity status in terms of kill-death ratios. So, you know, things a little bit better. But here we go. Terra going for the dive. Doesn't find anyone there right off the bat. Galactic Legend in from NK. 100 Thieves forced back a little bit. TTK. No Meteor M up yet, but will be up soon. The Sia, though, Envy giving it some respect, Jake.
Yeah, they've got to back off. I mean, the threat from Wolverine with the Sia, there's so much damage available to be pumped for 100 Thieves. It's got to be little by little. Magneto pulled very deep, bubbling, getting body blocked in the choke, needs everything to stay alive. Wolverine ultimate dives into the backline. Cal so low, but popping all the defensive skills, able to stay alive through it all.
Stays alive because Space somehow got away. Space broke Terra's ankles, got out of the worst of it, stays alive. Invisible boundary from Pain, well timed. Terra can't get away, gets punished for the dive. BRB brings him right back into play. Delina had to use the Goss of Death. This was a saving Goss of Death because it was about to go down and turn. Still getting some damage value off of this, Jake. There's not immediate response. Still, Goss of Death is down. TTK right now, Meteor M ready to go. Envy, though, with momentum on the point, starting to force TTK back. Meteor M is about to be used right now. Instead, he just watches Vinny get crunched in front of his eyes.
A little bit too greedy with the shield. Maybe doesn't think he could save the Venom anyway. Has to pop it on himself. 100 Thieves send reeling. I mean, Envy, there's still some fight left in this roster, despite the blistering pace that was set on 100 Thieves offense. Now, the defense looking a little bit difficult. Still, opportunity to make the hold here. If they can get the stoppage, this would be huge.
Galactic Legend causes the Meteor M. Still a little bit of gas left in that Legend. NK looking for more. Gonna see the Sia dropped in response to Lena. Stops NK in the middle of the air. Sets up the one-person advantage, but uses the team up, gets back into the fray. Envy back at full strength. Meteor M was used by Space, also doesn't get anything. 6 on 6. Next thing coming up right now is going to be Terra with the Galactic Legend of his own. Terra, though, under heavy pressure from Cal. Moves over, says nope, Galactic Legend time, goes on in. Lena, res back up by the rocket. Invisible boundary down from Envy. Both teams trying out ultimates. Not a whole lot in terms of dying, and when people die, the res comes in. Terra in onto the point, drops a blaster barrage, and Jake, it's still very close. Karmic Revival now up for NV2.
100 Thieves are juggling this card pressure incredibly well. Cal maybe forced to pop that revive, now needs to get Space back into the fight. NK down, getting rezzed as well. So those picks mean basically nothing here for 100 Thieves. They've got to find something else. They have the Sia online, but the pressure overwhelming. Cal super low, just barely gets out with his life. And with Vinny down, it's going to be difficult for 100 Thieves to hold onto the card. It's just TTK to hold the front line.
Remix now getting low, needs a little bit of help heal-wise. Envy, though, still very much in the fight. The Karmic Revival from Cal, well-timed. TTK, though, has the Meteor M ready to go. Not a lot of responses on the other side. Might be up to TTK as Remix getting down and dirty into the back line. Now, back and over. Terra, Galactic Legend, up once more. Invisible boundary down, but it's not enough to save NK. NK down, no BRB res this time. Clear advantage now for 100 Thieves. As CTK holds the Meteor M in reserve, but for now, just damage on the Remix.
Yeah, and the dive has really run out of steam here for 100 Thieves. The front line is doing such a good job juggling all the pressure on Cart, being just impossible to evict from this position. But hold on, Cal finds the burst onto Terra. That's a bit of an opportunity now. TTK with the Meteor M is sedated, is under a lot of pressure right now. And it looks like Envy just wants to go past the front line, dive in, deal with some of these dangerous strategists. I like the decision making, but will they get stomped by TTK's Meteor M? No, get no connection.
Yeah, they stay in it. The triple strategist for Envy. Still letting them stay in the fight. Space, unable to finish off Invisible Woman on the other side. Harvey just barely gets away from the Meteor M. TTK takes down his counterpart. Man advantage now for 100 Thieves on this payload that just has not moved for what feels like 3 minutes now. Galactic Legend in from NK. Is anyone for 100 Thieves gonna die? I was looking for Delina. Delina, though, gets healed in turn, but gets an opportunistic kill on the TTK. Delina gets caught by the very end. NK, the end of Galactic Legend, doing the work required for this point to be captured. A minute 30 left in Envy's life.
And this is gonna be a critical push. They need to get a cap, and they honestly need all the time they can get. At this point, getting an overtime capture is probably about the best you can do, but you need to do better than that. You need to have some kind of clock to have any chance. I mean, there's no way 100 Thieves do not get one tick. So it's time for Envy to go gambling, take a lot of risks. They need to cap with time.
We're moving on in. NK Blaster Barrage has the Star-Lord team up to get right back into it. Terra, though, Galactic Legend doesn't let Remix get away, moves on forward, laying the damage from the front line. 100 Thieves right now just looking for some extra staggers. And they just might get it, Jake, as Space can't leave either.
Their fate may be sealed now. Capping with overtime is the best they can do pretty much in this position. I don't see any way for Envy to get more than that. Like 100 Thieves, it's a scary spot to be, but Envy, despite the odds against them, they're fighting it out.
All they can do is press forward. 100 Thieves, though, very close to being our winners of the money match yet again here at Rivals Fight Night. But still, they have to put Envy away. We'll see if they can do that here. Terra, Blaster Barrage on to the convoy. Sleepy, Soul Resurgence coming on out. Envy pushing forward. Delina has had enough. Goddess of Death into the sky. Pillar being a little bit of an impediment, gets some decent damage in, but is immediately dragged on out. Envy, still a lot of ults in their bank, good to go here. NK, Galactic Legend, has to be the first one that's likely to come here in just a moment. Galactic Legend is ready. Invisible Boundary is going to come down a little bit early here from Envy as they use to set the terms of the fight.
And very happy to just hold this down and trade down ultimates are 100 Thieves. We've already into overtime. 100 Thieves, this choke point is going to be their last and final defense. Space goes very deep with Meteor M. Can't quite find the connection. Delena low. The pressure, though, comes in from Envy. They see an opportunity. Maybe they can get over the line.
Delena's low. Delena's dead. Space finished off Delena, who almost got away. And now, Envy, can they make the most of this? Paint able to take down Terra. Both duelists down. The 100 Thieves damage is wrecked. TTK can be his own damage source. Goes for the Meteor M in response to Galactic Legend. No pickoffs coming in from that. NK still on the Galactic Legend. Paint, though, is down. They lose
Terra.
2. And Envy now with only 4 back around. 100 Thieves with a respawn advantage. It is overtime. They cannot leave the convoy for any reason here, Jake. Envy must push forward if they want to stay this alive. 100 Thieves, they can taste the $1,000 at stake if they hold back Envy here and now. But the res comes in from Envy. They're pushing forward. They want to keep this going. And Jake, they might have just done it with Delena getting picked.
Remix diving into the backline with the Venom ult. Would love to get some critical pickoffs, at least taking some of the pressure off of the front line, off of the cart. Just gets healed in time. Now swinging around, looking to dive in. 100 Thieves, they're so difficult to finish, even in these critical moments. Legendary over the top from Terra. Does just find one. The invisible boundary from Paintbrush. Stabilizing this for the moment for Vinny, but they cannot get off this cart for even a second on Team
They need
Envy.
to go back in. They're getting pushed back. And that invisible boundary was just a little bit slow to save. Still keeps them in the fight for a little bit. Remix, though, down, gets caught by Delena, swap to the Punisher. And now Envy with only 3 left. 100 Thieves about to be champions once more. You get the resurrection in from the Warlock, but it's not enough. It's 100 Thieves. They win the $1,000 here. Rivals Fight Night North America.